Buju Ginawa. That is Ojibwe for hello you all, and this is episode 4, Middle of the Res Road, Return of the Reservation Dogs.
Aho, Buju Anishinaabe, Doug. That is Ojibwe for hello native people.
And in this episode, we're going to do a recap of some of the things that we're doing within the community, some of the opportunities that are out there, and we're going to touch base on language and culture and some of the things that we're noticing within the Ojibwe communities.
Yes, there's a lot, a high need for a lot of different things in the community along the lines of service work and service structure and different things, just different ways you can help a lot of the native people, whether it's native or just human beings in general. There's a lot of opportunities out here, and we just kind of want to explore some of those opportunities today.
So when we mention service work, and when I start thinking about service work, the reason why I do it, the reason why I try to get into is that being somebody in recovery, being somebody that tries to be a helping community member, and it gets me out of my own head. That's what it provides for me the most. One of the things that it does for me personally, even though you're putting out there, you're getting something in back. And so the main reason why I do that is it gets me out of my own head. I'm focusing on other people. I'm focusing on other things that we're doing, and it just makes me feel good. And it's something that we do as Ojibwe people, no matter what. So even if somebody, and it makes me think about the story that I heard from a elder over in East Lake, and he was telling me, he was asking a question. He said, well, if somebody doesn't want to help you prepare for a ricing season and tells you no, you're still going to prepare for a ricing season. You're still going to get your canoe ready. You're still going to get your knockers. You're still going to get the rice pole. And then you ask the same group of people if they can help you get to the lakes for, travel out to the lakes, help you go out there and rice, and they say no again. And so you do what you have to do. You go racing. And then when you get done ricing and you have to finish all that rice, and you ask the same group of people again, hey, well, can you help me finish this rice? And they say no again. And then you finish all that rice and you're prepared for winter. You're surviving, you're thriving. You did everything that you needed to do in the fall to survive the winter. And then these same people come up to you, and he asked us this question when he was telling us this story just in Ojibwe. He asked us this question. He said those same people came back and asked that person, can you give us some rice? We're starving. He said, what would you do? And I was like, man, they said no every time this person had asked for help, asked them for help, asked to teach them, and they said no every time. And what I wanted to say, I was only like 22 at the time. What I wanted to say was, hell no.
You didn't help me.
Yeah, you didn't help me.
That's just how it is. But it's like that part of service work.
Yep.
Like doing the right thing, like
Yep.
and really being a helper. It's like sometimes you got to overlook the discouragement.
And that's what he exactly said. He said, that's what we do as Anishinaabe people. Even when they come back and they ask for rice, your final product, you give it to them. Because that's what we do as Anishinaabe people. And that's service work.
That is service work, and just having to put all that work in. And, like where I'm at with service work, I really like what you expressed about how it makes yourself feel good. Well, it's like in that same sense, you can only imagine what it's doing for the people that we're out there helping and the people that we're out there. And it's growth. We're growing with all those people. We're showing them how to grow while they're showing us how to grow. And coming from a community of a very good recovery community, I should say that everybody's very supportive. Everybody is very connected, and I know like a lot of people look to Charlie here is like a beacon of hope that that it can be done, that life can be lived, and that you have every reason to smile, every reason to enjoy life, and just take life as it comes. And I know I got a few years on Charlie, and but I still go to him for advice and guidance, and that's one of the, you know, that's one of your gifts as a Indigenous person, is you carry a lot of knowledge that a lot of people don't know about, and that's what I admire most, and that's what I want to put myself around, is good people that are aware of how to be Ojibwe, and that's why it's like when you talk, I listen, and you know, I process it, and then I get to go out and explore, and I get to share those teachings, you know, and that's what we do as Ojibwe people, is we share. We share everything, just like the story you just told, and that's the beauty of being Ojibwe, and living by a standard of what we went through to get to where we're at today, and that's the most beautiful thing about being an Ojibwe person, is being able to learn.
Yeah, continuation of education, and you know, it happens throughout our life. Like people, what I'm learning, what I'm embracing, and the opportunities to continue to learn, whatever it is, because if you put yourself in a good situation where you're getting opportunities, what I'm doing is I'm starting to take more and more opportunities just to try different things, see if I fit here, see if I fit there, or see if I can help out here. And maybe it's just attending different things, attending different meetings, community events. It's just to become a better community member in the end.
And that's what it is. That's what it is, and we're trying to help motivate the community, is what we're trying to do, and that's what I do on the regular. It's like every day I could say that I'm at work, because I'm always continually trying to come up with new ideas, what's going to be helpful, what's not, what's going to help our community thrive. Like I was in a meeting yesterday with the sobriety feast committee, basically, and they expressed, you know, like how happy they were about like the work that we've been putting into that, and we have opportunities for growth, and to put some events on, and to do some things with the community, and you know, and I'm always open to ideas. New ideas are new thoughts, new events. Even it's like I'm always optimistic about that, moving forward, and how we can help the community, and how we can help individuals. Like I know, like with the service structure, it's like I feel good. I feel good about being out there helping people, and building myself up at the same time, is helping the community grow. And you know, like I in the podcast, for instance, it's like that's what I got into this podcast for, is to share knowledge, to pass on the knowledge, to pass on the opportunities, to play a role in being the voice for the ones that don't want to step up and be and use their own voices. It's like and to know that, you know, me and Charlie here came from a lifestyle that really doesn't get you anywhere, but today it's like, you know, like we're that voice, and that makes me happy, and makes me happy to know that right here, right now is where life is at, and I get to use my voice today, and I get to ask questions, and I get to be aware, and I get to do all these different things, and it pays. It does. It pays in value. You know, like self-value, self-worth, self-love, because that's what I want to put myself around. is being a helper.
And I know I've shared this with you before, but I know you understand this because, um, we both lost a brother, and so when I lost my brother, some of that healing process, some of that grieving, learning how to let go and continue living my best life. Whenever I'm experiencing anything, if it's good, bad, ugly, um, everything in between, being in love, heartbreak, having kids, uh, your kids yelling at you for the first time as they're growing up, and or anybody treating you bad or treating you really well, all of that, all those experiences that I've had, all those opportunities that I've taken, any of those jobs, any of those times I've helped people, I try to experience that twice, once for me and once for my brother. And that's how I kind of honor him, kind of respect him, always know that he's there with me, and letting him go, but keeping him alive at the same time for my own sanity, I guess, or um, but really that doing that, that's gratitude. That in my mind, that's gratitude. Practicing that every day, experiencing the good, bad, ugly, and being grateful for it because I know he would love to be here. He would be right here with me. He would be chilling in the studio with us. He would be visiting his grandkids, his kids, and I have to remember him every time I have a great opportunity or every time I get to share my voice or just listen or learn. So
I like that. That's what recovery really taught me. That's what recovery really taught me is like about forgiveness and what to hang on to and what to let go of. And when I lost my brother in March of 2022, and it was like one of those things where if you saw me, you saw my brother. That's just how it was my entire life. And like I miss him every day. I really do. But it's like the best way to honor him is to honor the belief that he had in me. And that's how I do it every day. It's like I walk as if he's right here with me still. Just like my dad, I walk as if he's shining down on me every day. And when I can honor him like that and continue to live this good life, life gets better. And I could feel them, like approving of the life I'm living and feeling proud outside of myself. Like I could feel their proudness coming down on me, and that made me feel good, and that's, that's how I've been getting through it. And surrounding myself with good people and good situations every day. And like you said, just being able to experience that twice, that's a like that means a lot to me. Like I and that's something I really want to practice.
if we're gonna think about gratitude and that's like a core, one of the things that we talk about in Ojibwe all the time is to get Kane Nindazoin and get Kane Nindazoin, and this could go down to Debane Nindazoin. Get Kane Nindazoin in Ojibwe is knowing oneself, self-identity. So having that self-identity, having those things that make up who you are, asking yourself that question, especially in Ojibwe, "Oenene Yawian," who am I? And then figuring out from there, my brother is no longer here. We're going to experience life twice for him, and that's just part of who I am. So making that part of who I am, that has helped me practice gratitude on every single day. But get Kane Nindazoin, people, you see that in Ojibwe communities, and I'm going to just speak for Ojibwe communities, probably all Native communities, this kind of like rebirth around the idea of Kikanindizoin self-identity, or identity of who we are as a people, identity as an individual. You can kind of see that all over Ojibwe country. And it's been awesome to be a part of the, help foster that. And having a conversation yesterday with a good, solid group of people at work, we're at the forefront of this. We get to help steer this conversation, help people grow, and help people learn about who they are as individuals, and help our community grow then as a collective. But we're at the rebirth at this rebirth time. We don't even know what it's going to be like 50 years ago, because if we go back 50 years ago, this was brought up yesterday, and I thinking about this. If we go back 50 years ago and on Fond du Lac, we're right in the 1970s. And there's tar paper shacks. People didn't have good water. They had a whole bunch of issues. They didn't have a clinic. They had a Indian hospital. I don't know when that was out of commission or not. People were talking about yesterday going to the trailers when the clinic first started. So you take a look at that growth, like in 50 years, having this idea of language and culture and having it be some of the most important parts of who we are as Ojibwe people. I don't even know where we're going to be.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That the way everything worked from 50 years ago to now is so advanced, and to even think about 50 years from today to the future that's sometimes I think that's too big. Like just too big for the mind to handle, like where we're going to be at with all the advancements, all the different things. And one thing I really, really hope for is that the culture stays here.
I thought you were going to say res dogs. We're going to still be here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we probably will. Me and Charlie and, our cast be walking in, or walkering in. Walkering in or something. And, I really would like to think that there's something good for everyone. That like that's when I put that thought in my head, like that gratitude. When I really think about the gratitude of every day, it's like I'm grateful to be in the moment, and I'm grateful to make it through the things that we've made it through, and to be able to look back on my life as it was all a lesson, like that. That's the true beauty of living today.
Yeah, that threw me for a loop. Like just thinking about it, like 50 years ago, remembering hearing all the stories, even 35 years ago, thinking about growing up and where we were to now, how big the infrastructure is at Fond du Lac, everything that we have as a community centers in every one of our districts, schools, Head Starts,
paved roads. Yeah. Like I remember back when I was in high school in FDL, it was trailer houses. That's what it was. A bunch of little trailer houses snapped together, and it was all dirt roads. And now you can go anywhere on Fond du Lac and it's all paved roads, all nice community centers, all nice, and they take care of it very well. And it's the efficiency on the reservation is really growing. I mean, right down to the new school, to the new culture center, to the new RBC, all the different things that like they're working on. And I'm amazed to see what comes next. What's next, and that's a good question. Like, what's next?
And then, feeding off your point of hoping the language and culture is still here in 50 years. One of the best things I've learned in language revitalization And I heard this about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. And anyone that works in language revitalization, anyone that's trying to save an indigenous language or a language, what you end up struggling with is feeling that weight of the language on your shoulders. And this kind of helped me deal when that weight was kind of getting heavy again, because it gets heavy once in a while. It gets really heavy, and you don't know if you can keep pushing forward and working with the current workload that you have, and knowing that there's still so much to document, so many elders to talk to work on your own language, to keep it growing. And I heard this quote a couple months ago. That's kind of, I've adopted this philosophy. It's helped me alleviate some of that weight of the language. And that's, we can be kind of like facilitators or pass on the language, and or hold the language for people that are going to revitalize the language. We can't revitalize the language as second language speakers, as the people that are doing the work right now. It's going to be up to the people to revitalize the language. It's up to the rest of the community to revitalize the language, make that important to us again, make that important to everybody. So thinking about that, I understand a little bit more of the puzzle of how to integrate language into the community. The community has to do the work for it to be brought back. So I'm just like a conduit to get it there at this point.
I like that. It says that there's work to be done, and it's going to take a community and the whole tribe to work together. And that's that unity. That's that unity we talk about being out in the community, is like all these events and all these things that we do. It's like it ain't one person doing it. It's people working together. And wanted to switch gears a little bit here. I really wanted to put the awareness out about what Charlie and I do, like what we do as individuals, and we're always willing to bring new people into the podcast room, right? And talk about some of your successes. If anybody out there has got any room for growth and is looking for people, it's like that's what the podcast is for, is to put awareness and opportunities out there. So I'm calling out everybody that has any opportunities or any knowledge of any opportunities for people out there that are listening, and that you need help getting your business together, or you need help just finding employees. It's like, that's what we want to do. That's what we want to be an advocate, to be able to put that awareness out there, and maybe even fill some spots with your businesses and stuff like that. And that was my understanding of being able to be involved with the podcast, is to be able to help resource for people and be able to help find opportunities within our community, within our own community and figure out how we can grow a bigger and better, more valuable, successful community, and give people knowledge and awareness of their own abilities.
And if you're a Native-owned business or a Native person that's starting something, contractor, consultant, or even just a humble person, if you're not Native and you want to come on the podcast, cool. Come on the podcast, share your business, teach us about your business. We want to learn. And if you struggling, because Native people in general, I'm speaking from being an Ojibwe person, watching people do this day in, day out, they struggle with that humility. Like it's ingrained in Ojibwe people to not boast about what they do or how they succeed. But then you go into different communities, like a recovery community, that people are recovering and learning how to live a better way of life. So you learn, you adapt to share your story, to share where you're succeeding so others can succeed, or share where you screwed up and where so save people from learning the hard way, as we say in our meetings. So don't feel like you're boasting about your business or boasting about what you're doing as a job or consultant. If you want to come on the podcast, talk about being a person, talk about your business, talk about all of it. Come on the podcast, check it out. And
Yes.
we're always open to having a conversation.
Yep. And that's what it is, is educating people about everything that's out there. And that's there's a lot of things out there that people have no knowledge about. And to be able to get those people to come in and do a podcast, sit down with us and share a laugh, share a conversation, just share some time and space. And that's that's what that's what I value as a Native American, is always sharing time and space, because that's what we have, and that don't cost nothing, but we could get the most out of it. And that's what I love about being Ojibwe is I offer my time, I offer my space, and if you're part of it, I'm grateful. I'm glad to be able to enjoy a company. Oh,
Mean at you. All right. So here's the Ojibwe salutation. If you guys didn't know this, one of the ways that we don't say goodbye in Ojibwe, and a lot of people don't say goodbye in their indigenous languages. In Ojibwe, we say Weweni Sana Minobe Madazin is the entire phrase, but we cut it down. We say Weweni Sana, and that means take care and live a good life is the full phrase. Or we say Gigawabamin, and that's literally I'll be seeing you. And then or Nagudge Bama P, that's later on. So Weweni Sana Ginawa.
Gigawabamin.